It's Tuesday, June 26, 2012. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Cards Against Humanity and real money auction houses.
Let's do this.
So, I've been playing a lot of that Pokemon Conquest.
Oh, how much have you been playing?
I'm not that far in it, because I just got it, but I basically just beat the Fighting Kingdom.
Oh, I haven't even beat the Fighting Kingdom yet. I beat
I
beat the Electric Kingdom instead first.
Oh, fuck them. I went to the Fighting Kingdom first. You want to know why?
Why?
All you had to do was hold the flags for 5 rounds.
Oh, I didn't know the Fighting Kingdom was a flag one.
I went there, right?
One.
Way underpowered. There's no way I could have beaten him. But I put my Eevee and basically blocked the guys away from the flags.
Eevee's really bad to use in the Fighting Kingdom because normal is weak against fighting.
Yeah, my Eevee, though, could move so far that in the first round, he ran all the way up and blocked the only way into the part where the flags were.
Well, he didn't block it because they could just walk there and punch you.
No, they could only walk in through one space. So I put him there. He blocked it. It took them 2 turns to actually kill him because he was in the way.
You let him die.
Yeah. Pokemon, I played a win. Pikachu, fuck that guy up. So what I did is the Eevee held out there
are you?
while all my other Pokemon ran in and grabbed all the flags. And in the arena, if you hit a guy, they'd fall off into the side. They couldn't get back up. You have to run back around the back. So as soon as Eevee died, I put this plant Pokemon in the way. And he just sat there while 2 other plant Pokemon did Vine Whips. So they basically fuck up the guy.
Vine Whip is real good.
They'd fuck up the guy who was standing there. And that guy standing there, as soon as he fell asleep from Lullaby, I just didn't attack him again. And the AI was stupid.
That's a really good... I think a lot of the strategy is figuring out how to arrange your guys to do the most damage. Because if a guy's in one spot, right, it's like, how do you hit him a bunch of times? Well, if you got Vine Whips, you can hit him from the sides.
Yep.
If you got the guy who attacks over one space, you can attack from behind.
Grit. That's exactly what I do.
You can attack, so that's pretty much how to demolish a strong Pokemon.
Granted, right now, the strategy is the Pokemon you pick determine the battle before it happens.
Yep.
And 2, the AI is pretty dumb,
really
and I
dumb,
exploit that.
Extremely dumb.
So
the dumbest.
It's kind of like how in Advance Wars DS, I couldn't really exploit the AI. It was more just like use good tactics and strategy. But in Advance Wars 1 on the S campaign, it was basically, I know the AI will prioritize populated APC over another unit. So I will use populated APCs as basically red herrings to do what I want.
Well, because, they're killing 2 units for the price of 1.
Yeah, but they do that, and then I just capture their base, so.
Yep.
But anyway, it's pretty fun, and, part of what I love about Pokemon isn't really a single-player game. I'm past that point in my life. But I like the idea of battling my friends, especially because everyone plays Pokemon. I no longer have the patience to get a bunch of Pokemon and level them up. Mm-hmm. This game, I can do the same kind of battling because all our friends are going to play it. There's a little bit more to the battling. It's paper, rock, scissors of Pokemon plus arrange the guys.
Yep.
So
and the leveling only matters a little bit. I'm sure if some guy was crazy leveled with like 100% Link, whatever, I wouldn't be able to beat him.
Yep.
But really, the difference between like 50% and 40% Link, it's like, it's not like a level 50 Pokemon.
The only thing that pisses me off.
And a level 40 Pokemon with level 50 Pokemon beats the level 40 in one hit, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Facing matters, FFTA style, like I expected, but you can't control the way they face by choosing
I didn't even
their
realize
path.
that facing mattered until people said something.
Any game that has squares or hexes where there is a facing matters.
Well, take, for example, Battletech, facing really, really matters,
Advance
right?
Wars, it doesn't, and
but
notice
in
how there
Advance
is
Wars,
no facing.
it does not.
But there's no facing. But in this, you could see there was facing. But the problem is you can't control it because, like in Advance Wars, if I move 1, 2, 3, 4, or in Final Fantasy Tactics, whatever way I move, the direction the guy was going when he gets there or the direction he attacks determines the facing. In this game, you can't pick the route. You can only pick where they end up. So part of the strategy, and this is why I'm going to kick your ass in this game, is that much like how in Advance Wars, I optimize the APC to infantry like maximal movement scenario to get to the middle of the map before you can get there. The way among skilled players, the way to win this Pokemon game is to know how the facing will fuck everything up and to move your Pokemon in the early round movement to where their facing will be perfect later and the other guys won't be.
Also, knowing what types all the Pokemons are so that you're always matching the right type.
You know, my whole life, I never really 100% knew it by heart.
The instruction book for this game actually has a perfect facing type chart in the back. Which you can also get that same chart on like Bulbapedia or whatever.
Yeah, but like when I was younger, I remember like I knew about Pokemon a bit and I knew this stuff, but I didn't really think about it. But I felt like, man, I should have this memorized. And to this day, I don't have the whole thing memorized.
This is why Spiritomb is awesome, because he's weak against almost nothing. Not absolutely nothing, but
Scott,
almost nothing.
You know how I'm going to beat you? Because you're going to have 6 Spiritombs.
The one thing that beats Spiritomb you're going to have? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have.
6 of them.
6 of them.
I don't even have 1 Spiritomb yet, so...
But it's fun, but it's neither here nor there. We knew about it. I'd played a lot of games like it, like Metagame and everything, but we
Heard
finally
a lot about it.
actually played Cards Against Humanity.
Well, now, from what I saw of this game, right, was that it was dirty apples to apples. And, you know, I saw it at conventions and PAX and such, and I was like, meh. It's like, yeah, it seemed to me, based on just, you know, a distant observation that, you know, most likely it was just apples to apples with dirty words, har, 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 sort of shallow and juvenile, and probably, you know, just sort of a novelty and probably not all that exciting or worth playing. But we were in the perfect situation, and we had a copy, and it was the right thing to play at that moment, so we did. And it was pretty good. It was actually not as crappy as I expected. It exceeded my expectations quite a bit. It is not perfect, but it was still pretty great. And I actually think, you know, if I was going to play an apples-to-apples game, I would pick this.
Well, forget the dirty part of it. What makes Cards Against Humanity a superior game to apples is that apples, the way the rules are, pretty much guarantees that after a few go-arounds, everyone has shit cards with some celebrity proper nouns they don't know or there's nothing funny.
Well, I think that's because that's just the apples-to-apples cards.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
The primary problem with apples to apples is that it has these rules that are set up where you can't easily refresh your stuff, coupled with the fact that the cards are pretty family-friendly and milquetoast, yet look at our experience. What were the answers that were always like the guaranteed wins? The horrible ones. So this is a game of make the most racist joke you can.
Because nerds are horrible people? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that this is a game for black humor, and black humor is best humor.
For nerds.
But also note, you know, when we played, it was a lot of like dark humor that was tied to sort of social commentary?
What was the one I did?
It was about like Soviet Union crippling poverty. I forget exactly what it was.
No, not the one where I put the 2 books together.
I don't remember.
It was, oh, Jesus, I can't remember. It was really good.
All I know is you had a really good one at one point, but I won solely because I had the card Fiery Poops.
Yeah.
Fiery Poops, I think, is the trump card.
But I was the overall winner by a large margin.
Yeah, you had a run at the end.
I had a run the whole time.
Yeah, but you know what? If you don't already own apples to apples, fuck that game. Buy Cards Against Humanity.
Well, I mean, all right, so let's talk about what's different, right? So, first of all, you have these cards that have, like, multiple card plays. So it'll be like one card was like blank plus blank equals blank.
Yep. Now, at first, I was like, oh, that's a pain in the ass. But after we started playing, those ended up giving the funniest answers, usually.
Right, but...
And they serve a second purpose of letting you refresh your hand more quickly.
But it was annoying because you had to play your cards in a certain order, and then the person who was the current, you know, master had to sort of look away and figure out, and, you know, it was a little, the logistics of those cards were slightly clunky.
Yep.
And they could have done something to alleviate that problem.
But at the same time, it allows such, you know, apples to apples only has one type of card.
Yeah, it's what is it? Adjective goes with the noun, right?
Yep, but this is like in M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, Bruce Willis discovers that blank had really been blank all along.
It's almost like Match Game, right?
That Robo Hitler had actually been Fiery Poops all along.
Yep.
It's
Mad Lib's Match Game.
I was about to say it's
situation.
Mad Lib's Match Game with black humor for nerds.
Right. Another key difference, right? And you could do this in apples to apples if you wanted to, and I don't know if this was. I didn't actually read the rules. Someone else just told us, and we sort of knew apples to apples anyway, right? So, but the ghost hand is genius.
The ghost hand is officially Conrad Kraling at this point, but
right.
I digress.
So the way the ghost hand works is basically let's say it's just a normal, you know, something blank. So everyone puts in a card, but then you also take one random card and put it in there and shuffle it up.
Now, this seems like, all right, what effect does that have? One, it proves that this game is not just random, because unless your friends cannot collectively pass the Turing test, the ghost hand's not going to win.
Right. I mean, it's very unlikely. I mean, the ghost hand won like 3 or 4 cards.
The ghost hand won 6 points.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, and the few times it won, it like no one's like, one would win, and then everyone's like, all right, whose is it? And then simultaneously we'd all go, no way.
Yeah, but basically...
Ghost hand?
Ghost hand. But number one, there's a slight problem in that a dishonest player could easily lie and pretend to be the ghost hand. So, for example, if I had cheated, which I did not, I could have collected all of 6 of the ghost hand points in addition to my points, and no one else would be able to dispute it because, right, they...
So... If your
I actually thought of a solution
So
to
did
it.
I. Let's see if I'll tell you my solution. See if it's the same.
Okay.
What I would do, the person to the right of the dealer draws the ghost hand, looks at it first, and then puts it down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then 2 people have to collude, or the person to the right of the dealer has to collude. Makes it much less likely that someone will cheat.
But if the person to the right of the dealer is the cheater.
Exactly. The other option that isn't as fun is everyone but the dealer looks at it.
That's my solution.
But
everyone but the dealer looks at the ghost card.
That ruins that moment of, oh, ghost hand, no!
No. And so now I came up with yet another solution, is that somebody doesn't look and photographs the ghost card with a camera.
That would be a pain in the ass. Unless
just a cell phone camera. Just like click.
It'd still be a pain in the ass unless you had a clear table.
No, you just, so click and then you put it in.
Yeah. Another answer is everyone lays the cards out, right? And have the dealer close their eyes just while this is going on. And once they're all out, someone takes the ghost hand, puts it down in a spot somewhere, and everyone knows that spot is the ghost hand.
Yeah, you could do that.
Because then
you sort of have to do that anyway when it's the multi-card
Yeah.
job.
Now, you still lose the, ghost hand, but at least you don't know what the ghost hand was, so you might still laugh.
That's true.
But there's also the mechanic that in this game, you can give up a victory point to refresh your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That actually adds some strategy. Like, winning this game is not random.
I did it once.
Yeah, you
and
did.
Actually, I got a run after the end of the game, so I think it might have worked for me. I don't think anyone else did it at all. I did it once towards the end of the game. I was winning by a little. I did it once to clear out a bunch of crap, and then I scored a whole bunch of points.
But basically, Cards Against Humanity wins because, 1, the rules are tighter, more well thought out. 2, it's more a real game. Like, winning actually matters a lot more.
It's funnier, but that might just be because we've played out apples to apples.
No, well, you think that, but 3, apples to apples cards, I don't think have nearly as much longevity as these because, 1, this game has a fuck ton of cards without any coming expansions or anything.
It does have a lot of cards,
and
but
2, the cards
I don't know how
are really, really varied.
They are.
Both in content and way they are
It's only about
used.
20% poop jokes.
But all these factors combined, because when do people laugh the most in apples to apples? It's when someone plays the really bad one.
Yeah.
This game is just really bad one. So for someone to trump that, they have to play one that's so bad you laugh, but you cringe just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was great fun.
Yeah, we could. There could definitely be expansions though, and that would not hurt.
I think there will be.
I hope so.
But anyway, things of the day. Got a thing of the day?
I sure do. So
Got a
hit
thing?
on the NeoGaf where I don't go.
Oh, where our friend Kuyahoga posted his infamous words.
That's right. Somebody posted a link to this NeoGaf thread, which I did see. I think they posted it on Twitter. Basically, what's going on here, it is self-explanatory when I tell you the title. It is the NeoGaf PC low-setting screenshot thread. People take PC games, put the graphical settings to rock bottom, and take some screenshots.
Oh my god, I wish.
And it's a whole thread of just that. It's pretty awesome.
So back in the day, I had my Pentium 200. Not Pentium 2, Pentium. And I would play Quake 2 at LAN parties, or I'd play Quake 2 semi-competitively. In order to maximize my ability, 1, I played like FOV 110, but 2, I set all the settings all the way down. And the gamma, and I basically fucked that game. The game didn't even look like a game. It looked like these like sort of high contrast, vague shapes and bland textures in a fishbowl. And I was just clicking on things in the fishbowl.
See, on the one hand, what's cool about these screenshots is some of them, it's like they just remove all textures, or right, because the game only comes with high res textures and putting the settings down, you know. So in effect, you're actually making the game look like artistically different, like has different shaders and stuff like that, because you put it down so low. And you know, sometimes it actually gives a pretty cool effect that like can improve upon the game, or maybe not improve, but give it a completely different feel without necessarily being objectively worse.
Yep. Well, sometimes that lo-fi business, like remember Gravity Bone?
Yeah, exactly.
That was really lo-fi, but that actually added a lot to the experience.
And it's also amazing on how some of these games, where even with the settings incredibly low, they still look just fine and pretty awesome, even though the settings are all the way down. Whereas others, you put the settings all the way down, and like Doom 3, it's like depending on what you're looking at, some of these shots are like, whoa, look at that monster. He's got like 5 polygons.
Yeah.
He turned into a rock monster instead of a, you know, zombie. And some of the screenshots are like, whoa, that guy looks cool, sort of cell shady, because the graphics are all the way down.
I just find
it's a mixed bag.
It's funny because low settings like that is both an exploratory thing and, for competitive play, a strategy.
Yeah, depending. Yeah, you can get higher contrast, easier to notice guys, stuff like that.
Or in my case, I was also shooting for the. I wanted 100 frames a second back in the day with my. God, I had like a graphics blaster extreme, and before that, you know, back when OpenGL was something kind of new, and like 100 FPS was basically impossible without doing mad tweaks.
Well, it doesn't matter because your monitor wasn't going to go 100 FPS.
My monitor.
I guess nowadays
I had that 19-inch that I spent a buttload of money on.
What was the
thing.
vertical sync on that? 75?
100 hertz.
Wasn't 100.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was 100 hertz, and you know what? It made a high-pitched whine.
And nowadays, if you get like a 3D, you know, fancy, you can get 120. That's about the best you can do.
Yeah, well, nowadays
still
it's LCDs
75 is all
different.
you're going to really get.
I pretty much lock everything at 60 these days.
Yeah, 60, 75, something like that.
Yeah. Though on my current computer, because my video card's a few generations old, I actually turn off vertical sync on some games.
Well, it depends. If I can render the 60 or 75 frames reliably.
I can't. If I can't,
for the game, then I'll vertical sync. If I can't and it starts tearing, then I turn it off.
Well, it can't tear with vertical sync on.
No.
It'll stutter, but it won't
right.
tear. You get tearing if you turn vertical sync off.
Right.
I would rather have tearing than ever have a frame rate drop.
Right, exactly.
Because aesthetics are nice, but, well, at least I'll put it this way. In a game of dexterity and execution skill.
Yeah, you need that speed.
Yes,
man.
but if it's like, I don't know, some Halo kind of game, don't really need the absolute 60 FPS. So I'll let the non-tearing happen. But anyway, so this is a non-gaming related thing. This is a video of how hot dogs are made. And you know what? This machine, what is making hot dogs, is pretty goddamn amazing.
Yeah, and it's like you think, oh, the hot dog factory, that's going to be way gross. It's not way gross at all.
In fact, I
They take
kind
a
of
bunch of
wanted a
meat.
hot dog after I watched it.
I want hot dogs right now. They take the meat, they turn it into mush, they put it in wieners, they cook them, and then they put them in a package.
The parts I liked are, one, when they're adding like pepper or seasoning or salt to the hot
Just how
dogs.
much they
the
add.
guy's opening like a 50-pound bag of salt
Well,
and just
I
pouring
mean,
it into a vat.
You know, you make cookies in your house. You use like 3/4 cups of sugar.
So what if you're
maybe
making
a cup and a half of
100,000
sugar?
What if you're making 300,000 cookies an hour?
Right, you open up a huge ass bag of sugar.
The other thing is there's the one machine that's like cutting the casings off of the hot dogs. It is amazing how many, like, the hot dogs are going by so fast, they look like they're not moving, like there's a strobe light, because they're going so fast.
It's not just the speed that's impressive, right? Because
the sheer precision.
It's the precision of how it does this thing, but it does it so exactly at
kids,
such speed.
If you want an interesting career that people don't tell you about, you don't want to be factory line worker. You want to be engineer who tools factories.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, you can go and
You're the one where they
design a
come
machine.
to you. Yeah, they come to you and they're like, look, our machine processes 100,000 hot dogs a minute. We really need to get it up to 150,000. How can we make it faster? You're the engineer. Figure it out.
Yeah, this is the slowest machine in the factory. You know, it's holding up because this machine already can go faster, but we're not feeding into it fast enough from the previous machine.
This thing is fast enough to where the factory could power a hot dog machine gun.
I think it's fast enough to where it's not possible for all of humanity to eat the hot dogs.
We're building up a strategic reserve of hot dogs.
If everyone in the whole world just ate hot dogs and nothing but hot dogs, this machine would make hot dogs.
What's the
Assuming
name?
the meat came into the
What's
factory
the name
fast
of
enough.
of that more recently famous power eater? The eating contest? The guy who can eat like the ridiculous number of hot dogs? Not Koyabashi or whatever his name is.
Not there's Kobayashi and there's Chestnut.
I
Joey
don't remember.
Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi are the famous guys.
Yeah, I forgot their names. Anyway.
I think that's the July 4th of July is the hot dog eating contest down in Coney Island. I'm not interested in that at all.
No. So anyway, because they don't chew, and I like to chew.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the meta moment, the book club book, we're doing the show on Thursday, Q-Teen84.
If you haven't finished reading it yet, it's a podcast. You can listen to the episode anytime for the rest of your life as long as we keep the servers running.
The book was pretty damn good. I highly enjoyed it. And I want to find out from all of you who've read more Murakami books, how many of them involve an ear fetish?
All of them.
Because I hear it's all of them.
That's what I hear.
Or at
as
least
well.
most of them.
Why don't you pick another one as your next book club book?
I got to decide what the next book club book is going to be. So don't cross me. Because if you cross me in the next 48 hours, it's going to be nonfiction. It's going to be 1,000 pages.
I've already picked my next book club book.
Oh, what are you going to tell us?
No.
Because I might pick Aristophanes. Watch out.
Who's Aristophanes?
The guy we were talking about earlier today.
Oh, the Greek dude?
He was the one in Greece who was like, kids today are stupid. It's the parents' fault. Everything's collapsing.
So the point of reading the book will be shit doesn't change?
Well, the thing is, he was right. The Athenian Empire collapsed
Since,
while he was, in that time.
3,000 years of humanity and shit's still the same. Society's no different. It's just a little fancier.
He wrote other stuff, too, and you might like one of his plays.
Oh, he has a play. We could read some Greek plays. That's cool. Can we set up a forum and then go act in it? And then have funny things happen on our way there?
We did a show in, 2006 that was... a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, and I remember remarking
But it had nothing
then,
to do with the actual play.
Well, I remember remarking then that I doubted any of our listeners even knew that was a play, let alone what it was about.
You know what? I know it's a play. I sort of know what it's about. Haven't seen it.
Well, we can't do a show on it because we already have a show called that. But anyway, Scott, are you familiar with Liz Estrada?
I've heard that
Do you know
name.
what Liz Estrada is about?
Oh, yeah, that's... what's it called? It was recently on Broadway,
Because
but they
Liz
did
Estrada
it.
Jones, the football team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Liz Estrada is pretty funny and full of penis jokes,
Yep.
and it was written by the same guy.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, maybe I'll pick an old Greek play. We'll do like Antigone.
What's it about?
You've never... Really? That was like 9th grade literature class.
Not for me.
Or Antigone, as I like to say.
Oh, Antigone. Oh, okay.
What
I still don't know what it's about, but I've heard of it.
Or Medea, anyway.
Because I was like, when you said it the first time, my brain spelled it like A-N-T-I-K-N.
Come on, Antigone. That was with Socrates.
Socrates.
Testicles.
Testicles is the best. My favorite
Testicles
guy.
and Socrates together wrote Antigone.
Anyway. Other meta things, our website is still upgraded from what it was some weeks ago.
Yes, so I have a mission for all of you punk kids out there. If you want us to do more video content, because many of you say this, we've got a lot of video content out there. Spread the existing video content around. Until that stuff gets a lot more views, because we haven't really linked to it from a lot of places, I ain't doing shit.
So yeah, you can go to our website. We got video stuff there now. There's the wiki show notes. Nobody's really done any wiki show notes. You have to go to GitHub you have to go to my GitHub and fork the FRC-show notes project. If you want to do that and you can't figure it out, I'll be more than happy to teach you things.
Yeah. We talked about that. That's the trouble if there's a slightly high barrier to entry. But
that's good because I don't want, if I did it to the straight wiki, it would be full of spam already.
But it would also be worth it to you because Git is very useful to know, and you don't need to use Git necessarily for writing code.
No, it's really easy, actually.
In fact, if you're a writer, like all you fan fiction kids with your My Little Pony fanfics or whatever.
If you have any files you work with and you need to be able to undo them or share them, it is worth your while to
writing
use
some
GitHub.
sort of erotic fan fiction with 3 friends, GitHub will help you do that.
Very well.
Yeah. In case someone adds too much cock, you can be like, no, I'm branching off the less cock version. I'm forking it. Anyway, ConnectiCon, July 13th, 14th, 15th in Hartford, Connecticut. We run the panels department. We have a pretty fucking awesome selection of panels for you this year.
Things are looking up for ConnectiCon.
Yes.
Big ups.
The convention's done a lot of the things we've needed. The website is not what it used to be. That's all else I want to say. It's an everything con. So if
anything,
you like,
it doesn't even try to call itself an anime con or a gaming con.
You know what the tagline
calls
is this
itself,
year?
What?
A massively multi-genre convention.
Oh, because they called it everything but the kitchen sink last time.
Yeah, and you know what? Last year we had a panel on mushing, as in dogs and the Arctic.
Nice.
We've got some sword fighting lessons. We've got
legit ones, not punk kids playing with swords they bought in the dealer's room.
No, these guys are super legit.
All right.
What else can I say? ConnectiCon's awesome. Don't expect to hang out with us, though, because
we're running shit.
Yes, we're busy.
This Friday, actually. What's this Friday?
The
July
20-somethingth?
1st, maybe?
No, June 29th.
Okay. So June 29th, this Saturday, I believe,
Friday.
was going to be Recess. But Recess was canceled.
Oh, no.
So instead, there is a free board game night special on a Saturday.
What?
Starting,
I think?
Yeah, Think Coffee, starting at 5 o'clock, meaning you can play the extra long games.
Guys, we're going. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Kids, if you guys... Nerd NYC stuff, if you want to actually hang out with us or like play a game with us, that is when to do it. We're not busy.
Saturday, 5 o'clock, Think Coffee, Mercer Street, New York City. I'm pretty sure it's this Saturday. It might be the...
Don't be wrong, Scott.
Let me look at my calendar.
While Scott looks that up, the only other stuff, PAX Prime's coming up. We will very likely be there doing very likely a brand new lecture, a new triple threat.
It is Saturday, June 30th, 2012,
And
5 o'clock.
We may actually be at PAX Dev. We're still working on that, but we got a good thing going here, and we're trying to sort out the details. Scott may or may not be there.
We'll see.
If Scott is not there, I'm just getting this on the show now. It's not because he wasn't invited. It's because he doesn't want to spend vacation days.
I don't have enough. I'm fighting basically every day to get more vacation
Well, I mean,
days.
you already got to spend Thursday, Friday for PAX.
I might just quit. And then just
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Take some horrible job, whatever I can get when I get back.
Not a bad idea
I don't know.
all.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I really just want an excuse to stay in Seattle the whole week.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So we've been playing some games.
But have?
The one game we haven't been playing is Diablo 3.
No kidding.
Now, Diablo 3...
And I want to say, as much as I rag on this kind of game, which I do as well, often, right?
Scratch his niche, doesn't
All
it?
you do in Diablo and also Torchlight is click on bad guys.
So,
and when you're about to die, push the healing potion button. If there's no healing potions left, you push the town portal button. But you know what?
This.
That's a bullshit, stupid game. But I bought Diablo 2 when it came out and played the hell out of it.
Yep, I played the fuck out of Diablo 1.
Up until freshman year of college. And Torchlight 1, when that got, I didn't buy it immediately, but after a few months after it coming out, I bought it and I played it and I beat it. And I'm probably going to get Torchlight 2 as soon as it comes out.
It's an important distinction because, we often are very critical of games, and that's true. We have very high standards.
It's like Initial D. I'm like, this sucks. Click, click.
Like, every time we say, World of Warcraft is bad for these 10 reasons, I can also give you a bunch of reasons why it's good. And you know what, Diablo, as for all the problems it has, that genre has a place in the gaming world. And I have myself enjoyed that genre.
Click, click, click.
What was Dave Riley? He was like, "Hey, Grotz, let's play some World of Warcraft," and then he starts IMing her 111112111221111.
Yeah, Diablo. Click, 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 left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, right click, left click.
So we're not reviewing Diablo 3. We're using Diablo 3 as an example because it's not that this is a necessarily new concept. It's that these issues are very rapidly coming to the front of the queue of important things that are going to cause problems in the gaming world. And we're going to talk about this if we do that one panel at PAX on ethics in gaming and game design and all that. But this is something we got to talk about now.
So here's what happened, right? As I understand it, as someone just reading things on the internet, I could be wrong because I haven't actually played Diablo 3, and some Diablo 3 experts probably going to come down on me. But this is, as I understand it, what happened, right? In Diablo 3, you play the game and you get Diablo Gold. in the game world, there is an auction house where you can buy things from other players, even though it's a single-player game, with the in-game gold. So if you play the game a lot and get a lot of gold, you can buy really awesome weapons that other people found that are better for your character. You can also, if you find items that your character doesn't need, sell them in the auction house to get, Diablo gold from other people, and, the life goes on. So you can earn Diablo gold by killing guys and picking it up off the ground, selling things in the auction house, or by paying real fucking money and just buying fucking Diablo gold with real money.
Now,
you can also take your Diablo gold and turn it back into real money, as in US dollars or euros or whatever the hell it is that you use in your country.
Now, the concept at its core may not necessarily involve any ethical problems. It seems pretty straightforward. So, one question that has already come up, let's say I buy a virtual good. Now, forget the TOS that users sign, because EULAs and terms of service have not really been thoroughly tested in the courts. And
well, I don't want to talk about, the legality is
well, no,
some areas is vague and some is pretty clear, but it's pretty boring to discuss it, either way, because it's like, well, lawyers will just decide and that's what it is.
But I just want to bring it up because, this isn't just in the U.S., which doubly complicates things.
That's true. You're going to have a different legal result in different countries.
But anyway, so already there have been, imagine this scenario. I spent real dollars to buy through their RMAH, as everyone calls it, an item that has effects X, Y, and Z in the game. And let's say the next day, the developers, Blizzard, then change the stats of the item I paid real money for.
Right. That's basically, and I made a bunch of analogies because that's what I like to do, right? But it's like if I go to the car dealer and I buy a car and he says the car has air conditioning. That's what was advertised, right? I buy it. It was advertised as having air conditioning. I give him real money. He gives me the car. I drive home. It has air conditioning. The next day still has air conditioning. Day 3, the air conditioning not only does not work, it's gone. The compressor is not in the car. The button is gone. It's like I look in the instruction manual. It says nothing about air conditioning. I'm like, what the hell happened to my air conditioner? And they go back and they say, we removed the air conditioning from all those cars. It's like, I already bought it. That's a scam. That's bullshit. If you tried to pull that in the real world, no matter what the contract you signed with the car dealer was, I'm pretty sure the court would totally rule in your favor and demand they give you an air conditioner or some money. Also, regardless of what the legal result would be, that's still morally wrong. That's basically a scam. It's stealing. It's wrong.
See, now it's tricky because on one hand, they are just bits in a computer and it is just a game. And
that's right.
You're paying for access to this game. So imagine if it wasn't real money. What if you would ground that item out like in World of Warcraft?
Mm-hmm.
Like I leveled up to level 80 on a character and then they changed the character and kind of gimp him a little bit.
It seems like that's not wrong because
even though I spent time, which is way more valuable than money.
That's true. It's very weird. It's like, why is it wrong when you spent the real money? And I think the reason it's wrong when someone spends the real money on it is because that enters you into sort of like this contract. They told you this would be this. You spent on it in a contract. You agreed to do this thing, right? If you just, when I get a mushroom in Mario Brothers, if it doesn't make me big, there was no real contract there, right? I wasn't paying for something. It's like I'm just playing the game. You didn't have this binding agreement with anyone. You didn't get lied to. You didn't get falsely advertised to. So I think that's the thing that the real money causes a problem with is that now you've agreed, they advertised and sold you a product. There was a financial purchasing transaction, and then suddenly all these. If you had to pay $1 for a mushroom in Mario 1 and the mushroom didn't make you big, that would be bullshit.
But at the same time, it is just a game, and you're paying for access to this game with the understanding that they'll change stuff. I mean, as much as I agree that it's BS, at the same time, I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone with half a brain knew stuff like this would happen. So you could almost say it's like you went to the store to buy that car and you knew, like, yeah, they're probably going to take the air conditioning away at some point.
Yeah.
Or take the tires away. Like, you knew they could just fuck with your car and you bought it anyway.
Right, but what if the car dealer had, it's in the fine print, you knew it could happen.
No, it's not just in the fine print. It's us, Scott. We were sure this exact thing was going to happen.
So the car dealer is going to take the air conditioning and you buy it anyway, but still, it's it's like a lot of people, they'll go out and intentionally get themselves into situations that they know they can go to court with, and then will go to court on purpose.
Now, there's other unintended consequences of this. This is kind of a high-level show here, but I don't want to really, get into this. We're not trying to talk about Diablo.
Yeah, we're talking about this general situation
But
across
look at what
all
else
gaming.
has happened. Accounts in Diablo 3, as far as I can tell from many reports from many places on the internet, are getting hacked like crazy.
Because you can get real fucking money.
So this is a very, in Diablo 2, I hacked to duplicate items and dick around in the game.
Yeah, so now your Blizzard account, which is already pretty important, is now as important as your PayPal account, which is why Blizzard has crazy security and will sell you, authentication devices and all sorts of things, because your account is really important. It's worth money. Could even be worth more than a Steam account. But yeah.
But now we've got this situation where there is a direct incentive to hack people's accounts, and it appears to be happening pretty easily.
Well, hacking accounts means most people have dumbass passwords, and you just log in because they're a dumbass.
There may be some has yet unannounced vulnerability because
it's possible.
Because there seems to be clusters of hacks all at once where a bunch of people suddenly get hacked.
Anyway, there's also the issue, right? And this is the argument Blizzard comes up with is, hey, if we didn't do this and make this legit auction house, everyone would just use a Chinese place, and it would be, and that doesn't protect the user, right? Wouldn't you rather spend your money on us where you're guaranteed to know you get what you're getting, except for when you change it, rather than send money to some shady Chinese guy and get nothing? Or, someone would still hack your account and then sell all your stuff on the gray black market. So at least, this is going through the real market. You report your account is hacked. Now that person, you can get your account back because it's, run by the legit guys.
But at the same time, so why is this even here in the first place? This is pretty much Diablo 1 and 2, for the majority of people that I ever knew, was either a single-player game or a quote-unquote multiplayer game in that me and a couple of friends would just dick around and play together for a few hours.
This is the core thing, right?
This would be like if I was selling upgrades in Borderlands.
Right. They could solve this whole problem by just really easily, you can't trade shit with people. It's that simple.
But now maybe, remember, we did that lecture at PAX on money-making games.
It's a single-player game. I don't need to have Gordon Freeman, oh, dude, you're playing Half-Life 2? Yeah, I'm playing Half-Life 2. Where are you? Oh, man, I'm in Nova Prospect. Oh, you need some extra rebar? I'll hook you up for $5. You can't trade your rebar with some other Gordon Freeman. That's not how it's a single-player game.
But
this is a single-player game.
This is more a multiplayer game, more like Borderlands. But yet at the same time, it's a game where if another player is higher level than you or gets some advantage over you, who cares? You're not really going to play with them.
Yeah. So
and they to make this stuff all work, they added the always on DRM.
Yep. The only thing that can really help you by spending money is beat the game on a harder difficulty mode or more quickly. That's really all leveling up gets you. It doesn't get you anything else.
And if they have PvP with arenas and things, or places where you can PvP,
which they don't have, they even said in their own words, it is not a PvP game.
So, what's the goddamn point other than to make residual income to pay for the server upkeep?
That
I think one of the problems, I love, Blizzard, they know what they're doing. We've met a lot of people from Blizzard. They know what's up, but I feel like this is a case of wanting to make game X and wanting to monetize with monetization model Y. And they're sort of conflating multiple game mechanics and monetization models together.
But it's working, and they got fistful of money, so what can you say?
Yeah, it's working for now, but it's also causing a lot of bad blood. But
all the bad blood is only amongst the hardcore people.
No, it's
Normal
not.
People don't
The
realize.
harder core a person is, the less likely I believe their statement of "I'm never playing a Blizzard game again." Those people are not giving up on Blizzard games.
Oh no,
they're not even giving up on Diablo.
But they're the ones who are going to complain on the internet. It's normal people won't even realize there's a problem, that their item was changed or who knows what.
But the people who complain are the ones who are the least likely to do anything about it.
Maybe.
Other than complain. The people, the only reason I'm not playing it is that games like this I would usually play by myself on a laptop, on a trip, but I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm just going to get Torchlight 2. Torchlight 2. You pay one price, You get in. You can play co-op. You can play single player. They don't give a fuck. You can run your own goddamn server. They don't give a shit. It's just like the way Diablo 2 was, only better. Because it's more modern.
I just can't understand the mindset of anyone who would buy an item with money in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Half-Life 2 and you run out of, say, shotgun shells, are you really going to put in $1 to get more shotgun shells? Or are you just going to go in the house? You know, if you're playing Zelda 1, would you put $1 in to get another heart container?
No,
Hell no.
If this was like our favorite old bunging game, Gunbound. Remember bunging?
Yep.
So in that game, buying better items made you just win. You know, that was an early American game.
That's pay to win.
It wasn't an American game, but in America, it was one of the early games that people would play commonly where you could just buy better items with dollars and win.
Even though it was a Korean game.
Yeah, but you could just buy stuff.
Yep.
So in that situation, yeah, I could understand, but there's really no like multiplayer competitive aspect. Other than, you know, like hardcore mode, like maybe you want to like be the badass who beats the game with a, you know, whatever in the rankings or stuff. Hardcore mode, those characters don't have access to the real money auction house.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're separately ranked and they cannot buy stuff through that.
Oh, so that's the mode you want to play.
Well, your character dies, they're gone forever.
I know.
Yeah.
That's good. That's cool. But I thought that the hardcore mode still had the real money auction house.
No, they do not have access to that.
Oh, then why would you even bother with the real money auction house at all?
That's what I
would
don't
just
get.
play hardcore mode and only hardcore mode until I beat the game that way.
Or I'll just play the game, dicking around, whatever, level up, whatever.
The other thing I don't understand is why people are obsessed with beating the game on the insane difficulty mode, right? It's like in Doom 1, it's like nightmare mode. That's a joke, guys.
I tried to beat Doom 2 on Nightmare Mode. I got pretty far.
Yeah, but it's mostly a joke, guys. You're not actually supposed to beat that shit, right? You're supposed to play in ultra-violence like a man and not, you know, Nightmare Mode is just like, let's see if anyone can actually do this. No, they can't.
It's pretty doable.
Right, but Diablo is the same thing. It's like, here's a difficulty level so difficult you can't do anything. It's like, well, what do I need? What do I care? I already beat the game. I killed Satan. That's it.
You mean Diablo?
Right, why would I play again?
I feel like there's so many, like all the things that are messed up with this game, interestingly, really only affect the people that will complain about them. And other than the online DRM, it doesn't even affect me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would never use that auction house for anything.
Ever.
Yeah. I'll still play the game.
Maybe if I played the game in non-hardcore mode, which is not likely, right? If I had the game, I would say I found an item I didn't need, sell it in the real money auction house and get free money.
I cannot envision a situation in a game like this where I would ever buy an item with dollars.
Well, the thing is, if I was just playing casually and I found, no, in fact, you know what? Now that I think about it, I would find items if I might sell them in the real money auction house, but then I'd pretty much never want to buy anything with the in-game money because that's real money. I would always just cash out the money. I would never, so like I wouldn't even buy healing potions because like I found 100 gold. You could turn that into a penny. I'll take the penny. Fuck the healing potion.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it'd be like if we're playing Dominion and I could like trash a province and you had to give me $5.
I would just lose the game and take your wallet, right? It's like, Jesus Christ. You know, man, you're playing Pac-Man. Every point you get in Pac-Man, a penny comes out of the machine.
Now, Team Fortress 2, I complain about this, but at least, you know, with the Pareto Frontier, Team Fortress 2 is fair.
Somewhat.
It's pretty much fair for most intents and purposes. I mean, case in point.
It's more fair than Diablo.
No, but what I'm saying is that in that game, I at least understand why people buy the stuff, because it's a competitive game, a directly competitive game.
And they want to pay to
That'd
win.
be like if a real hockey player could spend $1,000 and get to wear a special helmet with a different color or a light on
So
it.
this is the thing, right? So people have to understand this. If there is a game that is pay to win and you want to win, that's your high priority. Like imagine if you could get the actual Stanley Cup by winning and you could pay to win. You're dumb if you don't pay to win. But to even play a game that is pay to win is dumb in the first place, right? So it's sort of like if you're in it, of course you pay to win.
No, but what I'm
you're
saying
already
is
in it.
Team Fortress 2 is not pay to win.
It sort of is.
No, it isn't.
Sort of.
No, it isn't. It's a Pareto. The normal items are on the same frontier.
Mostly.
100%.
It's not 100%.
Yeah, it is. The only difference is that you have more tactical options with the other items and whatever. But by and large, I mean, if I go play in a Team Fortress 2 server, as many of the listeners found out the last time I deigned to join a game, I was known as Captain Motherfucking Headshot. Don't even come near me or my team.
Yeah, that's just because they're really bad.
Yeah.
If they were also as
and
good
compared
as
to
you,
Counter-Strike,
if you were
sniping
there
in
with
Team Fortress 2 is like, oh, a bunch of heads. Let me click on them one by
they're
one.
gigantic heads that move really slowly.
And they're really far away, and they can't even shoot me.
Right.
But
if
what,
you're,
what I'm saying, Scott, is that at least that is a competitive game where I am constantly competing with tons of other people. So buying a non-game affecting item that adds some flair to my character or something funny or something that stands out, I could see why someone else would do that.
I would not want to add flair to make myself stand out in a game where I would much rather be hidden so that no one shoots me.
But at the same time, like for example in Counter-Strike, I always play as Arctic Avenger, even in maps where that makes me stand out like a sore thumb. Because when I kill a motherfucker, I want him to know it was me.
I choose the guy in Counter-Strike who matches the map all the time.
See,
Snow map,
Scott,
Arctic Avenger.
if it's a scrim, yeah, that's what I do. I play to win. But
I always choose the guy who matches the map.
No, if it's
matter
a pub,
what.
I'm the guy with the Benelli and the Arctic Avenger just charging in.
I always choose the guy who matches the map, no matter what.
But all I'm saying is that at least that's a real multiplayer versus game where the primary point is multiplayer. I feel like for the majority of people, the primary point of Diablo 3 is either single player or Borderlands style multiplayer, in which case I cannot envision a world where any of those people would ever buy anything from the RMAH and all the other problems we talked about.
Yep. Anyway.
This whole maelstrom is only going to get worse as time goes on.
I mean, we've already seen a bunch of similar problems in Second Life. Second Life sort of started this real money to buy virtual goods. Right?
But at least in that case, it was real money to buy virtual goods that required effort and were created by someone else.
So sort of, right? Here's what happened, because you could buy land from the company.
Yep.
So this dude bought land from the company, Linden Labs, right?
Yep.
He didn't buy something some other player had made. He bought land from the company that made the game. Then they banned him because he misbehaved or something. He tried to sue them. They settled and reinstated his account. It didn't go to court, so we didn't get a ruling on anything. But they settled, which means they probably did not think they were going to have good luck in court. Or they weren't going to come out on the economic benefit if they had gone to court. So that is an interesting thing to keep in mind, is that it is it is very, very possible that virtual goods, if you purchase them, that might be counted as a purchasing contract, and you can't fuck people over.
So if we're getting to the legal ramifications of this, all right.
We already discussed the rest of it.
No, but let's go one further. We've got we talked about this in the forum. You've got two people who are players of the game that Blizzard made and hosts.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has an item that they sell to you through the auction house. Blizzard is the intermediary, and they control the center. What if the one guy's in China and the other guy's in Alabama, and there's disputes? Nobody involved
but not only
other than
are
Blizzard can afford the caliber of lawyers necessarily to sort that shit out.
Not only are they the intermediary of the purchase,
but they made it,
but
and
they are
managed it.
also completely controlling not just the production and supply and everything, but the actual good itself is just bits in their database. So it's like, you pay me to change bits in some other guy's database, and he takes a cut of the money. It's like, whoa, that is weird, crazy shit. That has not really... I mean, I can't even think of an analogous situation. That's like, if I buy... there's nothing like it that's ever happened, really, in as far as I can think.
What's funny is in the 90s, I remember people talking about what are the legal ramifications of virtual goods and virtual reality.
We've been thinking about this for
a
long time.
Well, because everyone thought that was going to be a big deal. And
it is.
Well, no, it wasn't, because in the 90s... late 80s, early to mid 90s, virtual reality and muds and mushes and mucks and like shared online spaces where people would assume these identities were like the big thing. Like that was what a lot of people wanted out of the internet. And then that whole thing kind of disappeared and was replaced by my real identity online and games that weren't just shared spaces. And there was this whole different, like cyberspace went in a very different direction. So people kind of forgot about all the concerns that were raised during that first push, and suddenly all that interest in technology is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even answer the questions back then. How the hell are we going to answer them now?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds, but all I want to say is if you spend money on some bits in a database that's like a sword or some shit, you are really dumb, or you have way too much fucking money, and you really got
but
nothing else to blow
if
it on.
time is more valuable than money, and I have too much money,
Then you should probably be doing something else besides playing Diablo 3 or games like it.
come on, that's a value judgment.
I think there's other things you should be doing.
Anyway,
if you have that kind of money, you could be on a tropical island.
I think we're done here.
Yeah.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.